Today we're going to capture delicious taste of fall with these chocolate caramel pumpkin puff brookies, or perhaps they should be called blookies since they combine a cookie and a blondie. A chocolate chip blondie is a delicious base for the ooey gooey pumpkin puff cookie top. They come together to make a perfect after-school treat for the kids. If you're ready for all things pumpkin, you're ready for the chocolate caramel pumpkin puff brookie. It's time to bake some magic in Mrs. Kringle's kitchen. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. This recipe calls for melted butter, but if you have an extra 3 or 4 minutes, I suggest browning the butter. People can be intimidated by the process, but it's really easy, and once you do it, you'll want to put it in everything. See the link in the description for a video on how to get the perfect brown butter every time. It lends a great nutty flavor that pairs perfectly with this recipe. First, we'll start by combining the 1½ cups of brown sugar. Don't forget to make sure it's packed. And then it's time for ½ cup of brown butter. Those bits in the bottom of the bowl are the browned milk solids, and that's where all the flavor is. Make sure that you add every last bit. Add your beaten eggs to the bowl. And now it's time for the vanilla. Slowly mix together the ingredients until they're combined. Moving on to the dry ingredients. Add the ½ teaspoon of baking powder to the 1½ cups of flour. Now add the ½ teaspoon of salt. Give the flour a good stir. Add half of the flour mixture to the wet ingredients. Start mixing slowly so that you don't have any flour shoot out all over the place. Trust me, every baker has had it happen. And now add the rest of the flour and mix it until the batter comes together. Scrape all of the dough off of the beater. Hand stir in the chocolate chips until well combined and set the bowl aside. Now it's time to move on to the cookie portion of the recipe. You'll need a box of spice cake mix or any flavor that you prefer, a 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree, not the pumpkin pie filling, and 6 ounces of caramel chips. Add the dry cake mix to your mixing bowl. Now add the can of pumpkin and stir it well. Once it's combined, it's time to mix in the caramel chips. Then it's time to assemble. You'll need a 13x9 pan and give it a good coating of cooking spray so that it doesn't stick. Pour the blondie batter into the pan and use your spatula to spread it evenly. Make sure you get it into all of the corners as well. You may have to use a pair of clean hands to speed things along. Now it's time to top the blondie with the pumpkin puff cookie dough. Spread it evenly over the top and make sure to smooth it out since it does retain its shape while it's baking. Put it in the oven for 45 minutes. It will be ready when a toothpick comes out clean after being poked in the middle. Allow the pan to cool on a wire rack for 30 to 60 minutes. Then it's time to cut it into squares. How many you want it to serve is up to you. If you're feeling generous, 18, otherwise 24 for a normal portion, or 36 if they're going to be served with other desserts. The middle will be a little more gooey than the edges, which makes it a perfect vessel for a scoop of ice cream. Oh my, Mr. Kringle will certainly enjoy his sweet treat to kick off the fall baking season. I hope you enjoyed baking with me today, and that you love this pumpkin treat as much as we do. If you like this recipe, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to get more delectable treats straight from Mrs. Kringle's kitchen.